welcome to the On Podcast.
All right, y'all, welcome. What's going on, everyone? This is Oriel and Natalia here on the On Podcast.
Guys, we have a very special pod today. We have our first ever guest speaker.
Damn right.
And not only is she stunning, but she's severely intelligent and has
retweet.
so much to tell us, so much to share. We have so many questions for her. And you may know her from like different events, but you don't actually know her. And today we're going to get deep and we're going to get personal. And she's here to share with us things that have brought her to where she is today. And I'm so excited. So Yuli Mor, please welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited.
Sir, let's go.
I'm very excited. Guys, I'm not that interesting, but apparently I'm interesting enough to be on the podcast. So,
She is interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up some questions that I have for you that I'd like to start with. First of all, do you wanna share with us a little bit about yourself? Like, where did you grow up? Where are you from? How are you here in Miami?
Okay. So I'm Yuli Mor, as they said already. I'm 21 years old. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, in the Valley. And I moved here about a year ago because I go to the University of Miami now. I transferred as a junior, and I'm majoring in economics with a minor in entrepreneurship.
Oh, she a businesswoman.
She is a businesswoman.
But don't be fooled, not in the business school, in the College of Arts and Sciences.
She wants to make that clear.
So it's not like business, but just know I'm about my shit.
Just like artsy business.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like...
No, I'm about my shit. I just didn't get accepted to the business school because I didn't pass math. Just kidding, I passed math.
Same.
They just didn't transfer it over correctly. It's unimportant. It's a problem I have with the school, but it's okay. I'll be all right.
All good. All right, so
Okay.
past intro questions. What you been up to lately? What's been going on?
Honestly, I just started my senior year right now, so
Fire.
it's a bit hectic. I have 2 days a week where I have school, and it's a lot because it's from 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. So I'm still trying to figure out like a good balance between, you know, leisure, like going to the gym, hanging out with friends, and also being on top of school and homework and making sure that I'm still on top of my studies. It's
12
very
hours,
expensive.
2 days a week is crazy. That's literally an entire day.
She's on her grind.
Yeah, gotta say thank you for coming out here,
Yeah.
joining us. We've been thinking about guests for a while. I personally had quite a few people that have come up and be like, yo, like, let me know when I should come by to the podcast. I'm like, who invited you? who the hell told you you can come? But
You're not that interesting.
yeah, exactly. Okay, you're not that interesting. But like, yeah, me and Natalia were like, all right, let's just, you know, we decided this together. She asked me if I can bring you on the podcast. I said, fuck yeah, without question. But
Can I say why? One of the big reasons why I really wanted Yuli on this podcast.
go for it.
Okay. We're big on talking about growth and transformations, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yuli has been through one of the biggest and hardest transformations with her weight loss, okay? Now, the way you see Yuli today, I want you to imagine a completely different person because the person she was a couple years ago is a completely different story. It can be also in your development internally, things that you've gone through that have completely changed her. I really want to dive into that and share with the people everything you've been through because it's so empowering, and I'm going to show you like also pictures like Yuli.
Before and after.
You're going to be shocked. And this is things that not everyone knows about her. So we're going to talk about it today.
We're going to unpack all of it, the secrets, tips, and tricks.
So
Yeah. So
What works, what doesn't.
kind of on my end, like, you know, there's a difference between like just doing certain actions and then having the why to why you do them. And also like, I also talk about like stepping into that character and over time that your life changing to what that character is. So my first question to you is like, what was your I've had enough moment?
So it was I was fat my whole life. I was 200 pounds. My peak was about 200 pounds, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. And I was never a person that didn't have self-confidence growing up. I feel like my parents were a really big help in that, and they were always, telling me I'm the most beautiful girl, I'm smart, I'm generous, I'm a good friend, all these things that
Positive affirmation.
exactly. I just had so many other good qualities about myself that I never looked at my weight and let that define who I was as a person, who I acted, and how I acted with other people. But I think the biggest turning point for me was realizing that, we're at a really young age where it's super easy to make that change.
Right.
And, I kind of got unlucky with being stuck with my dad's side genes of the family, and my dad's side is on the more like heavier side. And so I was like, I saw my grandparents and, my uncles and stuff, and thought, okay, if I don't do it now, it's going to be way harder to do in the future.
Right.
And it's very doable. But my entire life I tried doing diets. I tried the keto diet. I tried paleo diet. I tried carb restriction, like everything that you can think of, and nothing ever worked for me because I was just miserable. I realized that I have a very addictive personality, and food was one of my addictions, and it was something that I used to cope. It was something that I used to make me feel good inside. It was something that just, was always a big part of my life. Us being Israeli, almost every gathering we have is surrounded by food, whether it's Shabbat, holidays.
Yeah, stress eating is pretty easy for us. I can't lie.
Stressful things.
Mad easy.
When
Mad
I'm
easy.
sad, when I'm happy, everything was always just linked to food. So I decided one day that I'm going to start going to the gym. And I didn't start eating healthy at first. I was just going to the gym. And then with time, I think that... And I didn't start going to the gym, just because I wanted to go to the gym. It honestly was a plot. Like, all of my friends were going to the gym, and I was like, why not?
Yeah.
So it started that way, and then it kind of became like, oh, I can really do this. Like, I know the change isn't going to be right off the bat, but the more I do it, the more I felt good about myself. And with that came eating healthy, because I felt shitty to eat a bad meal, like, after going to the gym and, like, working out and sweating. So I would change it to eating healthy. And that's not to say that I only ate protein or this, or like I would have everything on my plate. I have protein, vegetables, and a carb, but I would focus on the protein, the vegetables, and then if I'm still hungry, go to the carb. So it was kind of like a mix
smart.
of everything. And over time, it just turned into a lifestyle.
Neat.
Could you share with us what was your life like before you started this journey? Like, did you have any struggles with confidence, or were you going through anything with your love life? Is there anything that you can really like pick and choose that you felt was influential from before?
Yeah, so I can say that, given what I said about my parents, is that I did have a very positive upbringing with my parents telling me always, affirming that I'm, the best and whatever. Even if I didn't always think that, they always made me feel that way at home. And I always had really good friends. I'm very fortunate to say that I had really good friends that never made me feel bad about anything, even though, sometimes I could bring myself down and think certain ways about myself. But then I realized who I am as a person. My weight didn't really define me, but I could say definitely that growing up, it was harder for me in the romantic way of things and with boys. It was always that, like, the guys that I liked my friends, or they just didn't like me back, and it wasn't because of who I was, and I always knew that it wasn't because of who I was. It was just because of what I looked like. And I can't say that didn't bring down my confidence a whole bunch, because it did. When it came to stuff like that, I avoided putting myself in situations like those, and I didn't put myself out there, and I didn't, in a way you can kind of say maybe I was trying to be someone that I wasn't around people, to make them think like a certain way about me and not look at me for, what I look like.
Yeah. So like compensating to like hide that part of you that you don't want people to see.
Yeah, so I was extra funny. I was, the class clown. I was the jokester between my friends. I would always like not embarrass myself, but like do stupid stuff to make people laugh. And in a relationship sense, I will say that I've only been in one relationship in my life, and it was a big growth period for me. And I will say that in that relationship, I was afraid to leave because I had the thoughts in my head, like, is someone gonna love me? is there going to be someone else that's going to, you know, like actually see me for who I am and not just for what I look like? And it was like it was a little moment that I had that, and then quickly after I realized that I know who I am. I just need to focus on myself, keep working on who I am as a person, and all good things will follow.
Right. That's super powerful. And
Very.
it's like what I'm thinking of now is like you almost had this vision of who you are, but for a very long time you weren't aligning with it because you held on to again, like for example, your fear of leaving. Like that could be that in a way it could be like you being scared of being alone or being scared of just your thoughts or maybe what you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself. But then after this realization, you were like, yo, like this person is who I am, who you are now. This person is who I am. All I got to do is change a couple little actions, change small little, like make mindset shifts and just kind of walk in that direction. So you basically like align to who you are now.
100%. And I feel like that the gym and the weight loss journey was just kind of me taking my life into my own hands and realizing that anything that I put my mind to is completely possible.
Absolutely.
No matter how hard you think it is, no matter how long it's going to take, if you keep working at it, it will be something that eventually you will achieve. Because I'm not going to say right now that it happened overnight. I was going to the gym consistently for 2 years, and that's when I really saw like big results, is when I was super consistent with it and, you know, not giving up even when I didn't see the numbers change on the scale, or even when I didn't see results in the mirror, or like if I ate something and I felt a little bloated. You know, I looked at it as part of the process rather than seeing a sign of failure and being like, okay, I'm gonna give up and go back to my old ways, because it wasn't something that was for anybody else. It was for one of the first times in my life that I was doing something for me.
Yeah,
and it
for
wasn't
sure.
As much as I'm talking about the relationship thing and the romantic side of things, it wasn't because of that. I didn't lose weight because I wanted guys to like me. If anything, I lost weight for me, and I lost weight to prove to myself that I can do it and that I can reach my full potential by doing that. And I feel like I 100% accomplished that. And with that came a lot of confidence that I already thought I was peak confidence before. But there's so many things that came with it that made me realize that I'm not even close to my peak level of confidence.
So another thing I want to say is I'm noting a lot of self-compassion. You said that there were times where you like had that one cheat meal or something and you like felt, I guess, guilty about it. In those times where you did feel bad about making a mistake, or you didn't see the weight change, you didn't see like results, how did you cope with that? How did you like actually be like, screw it, let's move on, it doesn't matter, let's just keep on going? Like what was your thought process?
I used to be a person that I get stuck on every little thing. Like, not necessarily to say that I'm a perfectionist, but when it comes to stuff with me, I feel like I get disappointed at myself. Like, why did you do that? You didn't need to do that. Like, it's very unnecessary, because it kind of, from a way, I feel like it was kind of sort of a fear of going back to the way I used to be, which was, you know, not feeding my body healthy stuff, not fueling my body with the things I need, because it wasn't necessarily that I was fat with no reason. I was binge eating and, you know, sneaking stuff past my parents and like going in the kitchen at 3 a.m. and grabbing a bowl full of things that like just, and afterwards I would just feel shit about myself, and I'm like, I didn't need to do that. So I feel like at some point maybe I was a bit hard on myself, because, you know, I kind of internalized that fear of like, I'm very scared of getting fat again and getting to the point that I was again, even though with the way that I lost weight, it would be very hard to get to that point again. But it's still a thought that's in the back of your mind, because for so long that's what it was. And it was very hard to get out of that mindset. I used to say for the longest time that I'm still a fat person at heart. And I just don't think that that's true. I feel like that was just me kind of just trying to like bring myself down or validate my thoughts that weren't good, you know? So I kind of got out of that mindset. Like, no, I'm not a fat person at heart. That I love food doesn't mean that I will forever be a fat person. And not using fat in a derogatory way at all. Like, at all. It's just, bigger, fat, fluffy. I used to say it all. People used to call me Miss Piggy. They used to call me like names that like beluga whale, big body GLE, like literally whatever you could possibly think of. And it got to a point where I didn't care what people thought about me because I already knew that myself. I don't need someone to tell me that I'm fat because I was very aware. I was not delusional. I was not thinking that I'm some Victoria's Secret model. I was very aware to the situation. And, I never had that denial of like, no, I'm not fat. But I was like, if I want this to change, like, I don't want that to be my reality. I don't want to admit that I'm fat, and I don't need people thinking all these things. Like, not that I really care about what other people think, but from a sense, it was more to like prove to them that I can do anything that I want to do, and also prove to myself that anything that I put in my mind is possible. No matter how hard it is, no matter how many people doubt me. There's people that when I first started going to the gym told me, I give it 2 weeks, or, it's not going to happen, or good luck, it's really hard, or, just a bunch of things to try to bring me down. And there's nothing more I wanted to do than to prove them wrong, honestly.
Yeah, right. It's fun. It feels good to do that. Also, like, your shift from, I think about it like this, like, think like a boat, right? You're trying to leave, but the anchor's still in the water. It's still in the bottom, right? You're still trying to go, and you're like, I don't want to stay here. But like, that doesn't make sense if you don't put the anchor up and just keep on moving forward. So your mindset of, I'm doing it for myself because I know what I can do. That is a powerful way to just anchor towards the future and bring it towards you now. And like bring it towards the present. But yeah, I'm sure Natalia has a few more questions.
No.
I've been cutting you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're so good. You have great questions. I want to know, what are some challenges that you faced during this journey, both physically and mentally and emotionally?
Okay, so one thing I already talked about is the fear of getting fat. And there were days where I not restricted myself from eating, but there were days where I was a lot harder on myself. I feel like I turned the addiction from food to gym and losing weight, which you still need an equal, healthy balance between the two, which now I feel like I kind of have a better understanding. I started my weight loss journey in 2022, so it's been a while since then. And I've had a lot of room for growth, and it went from really extreme to really extreme. And then I started actually in the last 5 or 6 months, ever since I moved to Miami and haven't had like a set schedule, I kind of, my weight's been fluctuating a lot more.
I was going to say, like, how has the transition to Miami affected this journey for you?
So when I first moved here, I was at my lowest weight possible, my peak working out. Can I say numbers?
Yeah, for sure.
When I first moved to Miami, I was about 128 pounds, okay?
She was that gym girl.
Yeah.
She was.
I was very lean. I was, working out. I felt very healthy. And I feel like moving here and not having a set schedule, because when I was in LA, I had a full-time job. So it was like I went to the gym before work, and then I'd get home, shower, go to work, and then afterwards I'd hang out with my friends. Or if I didn't go to the gym in the morning, I'd go after work. I kind of just based everything based off of work and gym, and then everything else around that was just leisure time. But now going to school, having weird schedules, like this semester, I only have 2 days a week, but it's all day. So those days I really have no time to do anything besides school. That I had a hard time figuring out when I wanted to go to the gym. And, after a long day of school and my social battery was dead, I didn't really have the energy to go. But I gave myself the excuse, like, okay, you're skinny, you're good, you don't need to do that. And then I started giving myself a little more leniency on food too, which is okay. You should always enjoy yourself,
For sure.
The whole point of it being a lifestyle meant that I still was able to enjoy the things that I loved. Like if I wanted fries from In-N-Out with spread, I went to go get fries with from In-N-Out. Like I didn't restrict myself in that sense to the point where
too bad
I
they don't have
wasn't
In-N-Out
enjoying
here.
it. Yeah, too bad there's no In-N-Out in Miami. But and then, so when I moved here, I kind of gave myself more leniency with eating and not going to the gym. And then it became like a delusion. Okay, well, I'm still skinny. Like the numbers going on the weight, but I still like how I look in the mirror, and which is totally fine. I would say that 128 was a little too low for me. and it wasn't like it didn't look insanely healthy, which I could agree with now that I look back. But now that I was like not having a schedule, I was eating whatever I wanted, I was gaining weight, and I started getting a little self-conscious about it again, you know, thinking, oh, this person notices and this person notices, when in reality, absolutely nobody noticed. But then it's like I would go home back to LA and like see my home friends, and like they notice because it's like I haven't seen them in 2 months. So it's like they do notice, and like even though they won't say anything, I know that they notice. So it made me feel uncomfortable to like go to parties, or like none of my clothes were fitting me the same way anymore. And it was a big shock for me. And then I stepped on the scale when I was back in LA like 2-3 months ago. And the number that I saw on the scale really scared me. It said 150.
Okay.
And that completely sent me into like a shock. I was in depression for like a month until I realized, I'm like, Yuli, you did it once. There's no way that you can't do it again, and you're not at the level that you were before.
Yeah, it's only like you're doing it like half of it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So sitting in my bed and making myself feel bad about it, or feeling bad about myself, feeling sorry for myself, was not the solution, and it wasn't helping anything.
Absolutely.
And falling back into bad habits wasn't helping it either, and it wasn't helping my mental health or my physical or my emotional. Like none of it was good at the time. Till I snapped out of it. I was like, Yuli, you can do it. You did it before. Get back into it. Don't think about it too much. Just do it, and you'll get into it. And after about 2 weeks, it becomes regular. It's not something that you have to really work for anymore. You know, it's something like it's something that your body knows, and your body recognizes you've done this before. And so I got back into the working out and eating healthy, still eating what I wanted, but in everything in moderation. You know, I still eat carbs, I still eat pasta, I still eat, when I go out to restaurants with my friends, I'm not counting calories, I'm not counting carbs, because to me that was very toxic. For some people that works, but for me personally, I feel like that really puts you in like a tunnel vision mindset. Like if this doesn't match my macros, I can't eat it. Or like if I want a little sweet treat after eating a full meal, like I can't have it because I finished my calories for the day. No, I still give myself that, because without that, it's very easy to fall back into old ways and binge eat and, you know, result back to food and, you know, feeling bad about myself. And I was like, I think this time I'm doing it very, very healthy. You know, I'm still, when I go out with friends to eat, I'll snack on things.
For sure.
You know.
I gotta say, going to Casa Tua, it's almost impossible to not count your carbs. It's like literally just like, it's like 4,000 calories on a plate, and you're just like, fuck it.
Or like Cheesecake Factory.
Literally, I haven't
like
been in a long time.
Weight, going to Cheesecake Factory is like, I'm like in shock by
I know what you mean. It's crazy. But another thing, it's like, so I've talked about this with Natalia, but like I've also had a porn addiction, like from ages 13 to 21. One thing that I have learned pretty recently is that when you are hard on yourself, you're more likely to go back to it. Like you're in like if you're in a state of, let's say like I'm done for like 3 months, and then like that one day I like that one day in the 3 month span I go back to it. I lapse once or something. When you do that to yourself, like you are almost by default putting yourself back in that state of anguish and anger and just sadness. So your nervous system's like, yo, like, okay, these are the emotions that this person is feeling. It's only the most logical next step to go back to where you were. So once I gave myself the self-compassion, and this is very counterintuitive, right? So I gave myself the self-compassion of, yo, like, hey, this is the first time in 3 whole months that you did it. It's fantastic. You know what I mean? Like it's not bad. Like I'm actually really proud of you for going this whole way. And even if you did it, it's I'm still proud of you. I still love you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what kept me like just moving more and more away from it in my time. So it was super. It's weird, right? Because sometimes it's the things that we don't.
1 step backwards, 2 steps forward type thing.
That and also like it's like the things that you don't believe will work or will work for you. Like when you surrender control, you happen to gain more of it. Yeah. When you also like in an emotional standpoint, like when you release sadness, for example, you by default have more happiness to feel. 100%. So it's very the spiritual side of it's very interesting because it's literally just letting go of who you are not and then by default you become who you are. So
like you need to know the low to understand what high feels like.
exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
And
Like
you need to give yourself that leniency and that grace of like, you know, we're all human.
Mm-hmm.
We all make mistakes. I can't say that this journey has been smooth all the way through. It's definitely been like the bumpiest ride of my life, and I'm still learning new stuff about myself every single day that I never knew before. So it's, you know, it's one, growth within yourself and figuring out who you are as a person, figuring out your capabilities, what you're capable of. And you know, it's not to say that every day that I went to the gym I was 100% motivated to go to the gym. My standpoint was if you show up for yourself and you're still not feeling it, it's okay to take that day off. But you'll always regret not going to the gym, and
exactly.
you can never regret going to the gym. Even if you showed up, you did a little treadmill, a little something small.
I
You
remember
realize that it's not the day for me. You go home, you can say you tried.
Yeah, gym was one of my coping mechanisms back then. I do it for the sake of it now, but just like I remember the days where I'd go and I kid you not, I would rather have died. Me being in the gym, I would rather have died than like being there. But I was like, I'm here. Screw it.
100%. You showed up for yourself.
Exactly.
That's what counts.
People, what's super important is like you have this motivation to do something, but motivation's a feeling. Like it's not real because it's like it's not something that's like permanent. You know what I mean? Like you have to be able to keep on aligning yourself to that vision of who you are long after the feeling of it's gone. Even if you feel miserable, just keep going. But always be happy and thankful. That's what helps along the way. So,
100%.
I'd like to dive into a question related to also the confidence and identity. Did you notice that people treated you differently after losing weight?
that's a good question.
So yeah, from both sides of things, from guys and girls. From guys, I will say that a lot of the guys that, you know, I was maybe interested in or had crushes on in high school, middle school, whatever, you know, there were a lot of people that, you know, everyone had positive things to say. I wouldn't say that anyone really had anything negative to say, and if it was because pure jealousy.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
You had that glow up. And
yeah, I didn't take it as I honestly took it as a compliment more than
Nice.
anything. Like, my haters bring me up. From a guy's point of, like, from the guy's standpoint, I was getting more attention from guys. But if I did it for that reason, maybe it would have, you know, made me feel better.
But do you think though that did you notice that there was a change? Like there was a positive change on how people treated you? Guys, let's say, they give you more attention. We know it's not, you didn't do it for them,
Yeah,
but like it comes with that, you know?
Oh yeah, of course it comes with that. Yeah, I got a lot more attention from guys, and you know, when we go out with my girlfriends, you know, it wouldn't just be them getting attention from guys anymore. It was also, you know, I was also in the mix. And not to say that when I was bigger and my friends were getting attention from guys that I looked at them and I was like, why don't I have that? Why aren't guys into me? Why is he not coming up to me? Why are the guys that I like into you? You know, I always knew that I wasn't perfect, you know, and if people didn't like me because of who I was and because of what I looked like, that's yours, you know. I never was like, why are my friends getting things that I don't? I understood why completely. I was fat. They were skinny, bomb, you know, took care of themselves. Even if it was like skinny in their genetics, whatever. And I never looked at them and was like, got mad at my friends, like, why are they into you and not into me? But then when I started losing weight, I noticed, not from my closest friends. My closest friends were all very supportive and very, you know, the best. Like, they would always be hyping me up. They would always be saying like, wow, she's so hot, like my best friend, she's so beautiful, all this stuff, you know. And I always looked at that and like I'm very happy that my friends are proud of me, and I don't have friends that are envious of me or looking at it as in like, oh, why are they going to her now and not me, you know. That was but there were girls that I was friends with, maybe not super close friends with me, but girls did start acting differently around me. It went from when I was bigger, like, oh yeah, I don't care if Yuli changes in front of my boyfriend. Like, it's Yuli, she's my best friend. Like, I know nothing's gonna happen. To, why are you looking at my boyfriend like that? Or like, why is, you know, starting to get mad at their boyfriends if they looked at me a little too long, or if I said hi a certain way, or if I hugged them a certain way, you know? It was kind of just a lot of, And I know that had nothing to do with me. I wasn't doing anything. I've never been one to be involved with someone that has something with someone else. It's not my thing at all. It was more out of a insecurity for them, and I never blamed that on them, because sometimes that's just how people are, and I'm not here to understand why people's minds work a certain way.
So how did that set in like attention, both from these girls and from the guys that you had crushes on? How did that set in attention affect your confidence, like both negatively and positively?
So I could say that, growing up, I did have a lot of guy friends, really good guy friends that loved me really for who I was and never wanted anything more from it. And I grew up with 2 brothers, so I was very used to being around guys my whole life. As much as I had girlfriends, I always had guy friends too, whether it was my brother's friends or friends of friends, or even guys that were interested in my girlfriends always ended up being my best friends. So it was like, it went from, wait, sorry, repeat the question again.
So the guys, so not the guy friends, like guy friends, we know friends, but more like the guys that are more in the romantic sense, guys that maybe didn't pay as much attention to you before, but all of a sudden did that boost your confidence and make you feel more confident, make you feel like so, oh, like this is nice?
That struck your ego well? Like that's where you're going at.
It definitely, that's the right word to use. It definitely stroked my ego 100%. I wouldn't say that I ever really gave into it, because I kind of laughed at it, to be honest with you. It was like every day if there was another guy messaging me or liking my story or DMing me, whatever, I'd honestly just laugh at it, because I'm like, I'm honestly embarrassed for you, because I've always been the same me. I just look a little different now. So now, like, you're like, oh, wow, let's see what Yuli's about.
That's powerful.
It's just a bit shallow to me, and I'm not into shallow people. None of my friends were ever shallow.
That's powerful.
Whoever loved me for who I was, and it's not to say that I meet people now and I'm like, oh, well, you only like me because I'm skinny. No, because I don't think that that's all I am. Like,
yeah, and also I feel like not everyone knew you in both phases.
Exactly. So it's like I don't see people now and I'm like, oh, well, you only want to be my friend now because I'm skinny and all these guys want me or whatever. You know what I mean?
How do you handle moments when you notice people are being like extra nice to you and they're only focusing on your appearance rather than your personality and your values? Like, how do you handle that?
So I feel like I can, I don't assume anyone's like that from the beginning, but if I feel some like envious energy, even if it's like, keep your enemies closer type of thing. There have been girls that have tried to get close to me and then like throw me little stabs here and there, like, how is it that you always get all the hot guys, or you always get all the like the best ones, or whatever it might be, all those small little things that I notice that it's like, I have to say khamsa, khamsa, khamsa over and over again. It's like to a point where I'm like, I have all my best girlfriends, and if I don't feel like your intentions are pure as to why you want to be my friend, like if you're not trying to be my friend because of who I am and what our friendship is, but rather like the things that I get invited to, or the people I hang out with, or the guys that I'm friends with. Because I've had girls become close with me just because my guy friends are hot. And to me, I think that's really, really weird. Like really weird. And I tell them straight up. I'm like, listen, I think you're a great person. I just don't think that I want to be close with you. For this and this and this reason. I'm very open and honest about it. Even if they take it as like, oh, you're being cocky, oh, whatever. I know what it is. And sometimes, sometimes you don't have to say anything at all. Sometimes some things are just better left unsaid. And it's like, I wish you all the best. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Not everyone's owed a reason, to be honest.
But if they want to know, I'll tell them. If you really want to know, I don't mind telling you.
Do you feel like your confidence has grown outside of how you look, like internally? Like when you walk into a room, you don't even think about, oh wait, I lost weight, I feel confident. Like there's other things that make you even more confident now. Like you just love yourself even more in general. Do you feel like you've I'm trying to ask the question properly. It's like in my head. It sounds
you're trying to.
I'm trying. Okay, wait, next question, because I'm trying to say it out loud and it's not working for me. Okay, do you feel that now you're more willing to take risks and take on new opportunities after this like, transformation?
Yeah, I definitely do feel like after this and proving to myself that this was very possible, and it was something that for the longest time I did kind of put into my head that it was impossible, and that's just who I am, and that's how I'm gonna live the rest of my life. Losing that weight did make me feel like it was very possible, and it opened doors to a lot of other opportunities, and it made me realize that everything that I put my mind to, whether it was losing weight, getting into school, which I never thought that I would be in college, honestly. Doing a lot of things, making the move here to Miami alone. My family still lives in LA, so
wow.
it does make that very difficult. I don't have anyone here. I knew Natalia from before, but we weren't really close. It was kind of like a shot in the dark, and it was kind of a move that I made.
Gotcha.
Just to prove to myself that throwing myself in the deep end, I can float.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sink, and
That's
I
fantastic.
will
Yeah.
put myself in the most difficult situation, and I'll make it out, and I'll be okay, and I'll figure out my way.
I'm thinking about it now, and so basically I've talked about this with Natalia before, but I always say that the reason people don't believe they can be successful is that they need proof. They need an idea of, I've done it in the past, I can do it. Like, I have more reference experience. But when it comes to things like weight loss, for example, the first time you lost weight, you went from X weight to Y weight. But you didn't need to know what Y weight felt like in your body, in your mind, to actually just go on and do it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's probably the greatest analogy to spirituality I've ever had in my life. Yeah. Straight up weight loss. Because that's again, you're not thinking in your head I was, I'm just going to throw the 128 number. I was 128 in the past. I can definitely do it again. It's no, you really do not need the evidence of being said person to bring that person into your life, to become that person. Mm-hmm. So again, I commend you. That's super powerful, because everyone's all, I don't know how to look like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel, I don't know what I'm gonna, I don't know how I'm gonna react to this lifetime. It's
you're never gonna know unless you try it.
Exactly.
Even if a million people have done it before,
the proof's in here. Exactly. It's not out there in the world. Mm-hmm. It's not in the past. Definitely not in the past.
And it's very doable, because I've seen people do it, and sometimes I'll scroll on TikTok and I'll see people have these crazy weight loss transformations.
For sure.
Wow, this is insane. I can definitely do that, but I never feel like I put my mind to it 100%, and I was 100% in it, because I always tried to maybe follow exactly what they were doing, or being okay, why is this not working for me? But I realized that just like in life and in other things in life, everybody has their own path, and everybody has their own way. It's never going to be,
exactly.
There's never one straight answer or one right way to do things, you
right.
know? It's kind of like if you're in a math class and your teacher gives you an equation, there's a million different ways that you can solve this equation.
Exactly.
But just because your teacher is teaching you this one way, it's the one way you know how to do it. But that's not true.
I hated when you do it another way and they'd make it they'd say it's wrong because it's not the way to do it. I hate that stuff. That's such a minimal way of thinking, and that's I don't know. I think about the rat race, and I'm bro, why is everyone miserable? Why is everyone doing the miserable life the same exact way? It's because everyone was so conditioned to being on this path of khara, this path of mediocrity. But I've noticed that all the successful people, not only do they just stand out from that herd on its own, that's already being above 99% of the crowd, but whether it's in my case real estate media, or in her case life coaching, they're going to be me and my competition are going to succeed in different ways, doing the same exact stuff. In her case too, and in your case as well. I don't know what you're going to be doing after college, but I'm sure that you're going to see what other people are doing and then how you can stand out, because people forget to put themselves in what they do. Mm-hmm. And they tried basically I say because for me, for example, I can be I'm a real estate media person. I take photos of homes, whatever. But the way to flip it around is, and the way to actually succeed is, I am me. I have my own unique personality, my own insights, my own experiences, and I can put all that personality into what I do to stand out, to succeed.
Yeah.
So when it comes to just any success journey, there is always a unique way to do it. So let's say, like, I mean, if you've seen another person do something that you want to do, you can ask them. You can definitely like gain the insights of, oh, how'd you do this? How'd you lose weight? How did you lose 80 pounds in a year? Or how did you start making $20,000 a month? Those things might work, but they might not work for you.
Mm-hmm. And I've had people in my past be like, because I've had a lot of people tell me I really influenced them and I gave them that push to lose weight and or start going to the gym or whatever it might be. And they're always like, you should start an Instagram, you should become a fitness influencer, you should do this, you should do that. And as much as it's all intriguing and it's all very interesting to me, I don't feel like I have the right credibility to tell people exactly what to do and that it's going to work 100% of the time because I don't know that. You know, I always tried to do what other people were doing and that never worked for me. You know, I'm a person that I learned a long time ago that when you try to put me in a box, whether it was diets, working an office job, working for someone else in general.
You never fit in the box.
I hated being put in a box.
I can't. I'm the same way.
It made me want to rebel.
I'm the same way.
It made me want to go against everything. You know?
Me, I'm like me personally. I know I'm a super expansive person. Like every time someone tries to like put me in a certain pathway or box, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, cool. No thanks.
Facts. Literally.
You know, like cool that you say. Like I'm also like
thanks for your insight. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. Like also, I feel like with friends, like I feel like I'm a friend that, you know, I do care about my friends' opinions and I care about what they have to say and I do ask for their help, but I never take that and run with it. I never take it and because that's also when you start to blame other people for why shit's not working for you.
Yeah.
Is when you start, you know, listening to exactly what other people are saying and not fitting it into your life because not everybody has the same life. Everybody has different upbringings, different surroundings, different everything is different. There's no even your siblings, you know, as much as you guys grew up in the same house with the same parents, you went through different stuff.
Yeah, we're all emanations of the same light. Like we're all literally like we see the same world. We're all looking literally at each other, the camera, the lights, but it's all different to us in its own way.
All perspective.
It's literally all perspective. Like it's
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Wow, you have so much. Oh my gosh, I have in Hebrew it's yeda. So much wisdom and so much knowledge from your experience, and it's so incredible. I'm gonna pin below right here pictures of how she looked before, so you can get a idea of what we're talking about.
Or we can just slap it on the screen, make it look big.
Yeah, we're gonna
a
just
lot
go.
of people like I could like. It's not like it's a conversation starter to me. It's not who I am completely.
She doesn't identify for like she doesn't make it her personality. It's not.
No, yeah, that's
her
the
whole
amazing thing too. I love that.
No one would know this about
a part
her.
of my lore, but
I've known her for a year. Mind you, I've known you for about a year, and I did not know this until last week. I was like, literally my birthday here last week. You showed me like she or one of you showed me pictures. I was like, damn, like there's no way that was you 3 years ago. I was like, there's absolutely no way. But then you showed me the picture of the like you and your mom dress, and I was like,
yeah. And I have people like I tell them like, yeah, I used to be fat, and they're like, okay, how fat is fat really? And I'm like, I'll fucking show you what
20
fat
pounds.
was. It's a big body, okay? I played soccer in high school.
Big
I was a
beluga.
goalie. Okay? Nothing got past me. Let's put it at that.
I love that you can laugh about it too, because not a lot of people
only,
laugh about
only
that.
people that like have been in the dumps with it can laugh and like they're able to laugh about it.
Yeah, but some people define themselves by the dumps, and they're like, "Oh, I'm here now. This is clearly where I have to be," and that's like that's not fair. I'm glad that more and more people now are realizing this ain't where this is not where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
I got more stuff going on. Let's run it, and you are a prime example. So.
You really are.
And I think now, even after that, like I don't think I'll ever like have a peak of like my potential. I always feel like no matter what I do now, it's like I know that there can always be more.
Yeah,
or I can always be better. Or you know, not to say that I'm hard on myself. It's so hard on myself.
Like you're not chasing it, but you just know it's there, so you're like attracting it by default.
Exactly. Like I'm happy with where I'm at, but I know that I can do more. You know, I'm not
For sure.
bringing myself down by saying you're not doing enough, you're not doing this. But I definitely always know that no matter what I'm doing, I could always do more. I could always be better. I could always be more knowledgeable. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's the gym. You know, starting the gym, I'll be honest with you, I followed TikTok.
That's
I used
fun.
to look up arm workouts for women, back workouts for women. Because I always had a fear like, wow, I'm going to be buff right now. Like, I'm going to look like a bodybuilder. But I'm like, I realize that's not what it is. Like, I hit the gym like a guy. I hit back by, chest try, legs, cardio, everything that you can think of. Just, you know, on a lower scale, just to tone. It doesn't have to be heavy lifting, you know. Just everybody has their own way. And, you know, I know some girls that just, like, most guys, they hear I go to the gym, they're like, oh, well, you hit legs and cardio.
You
I'm
butt
like,
days.
No, I honestly don't. A leg day is, like, my most hated day ever. I hate
What's your favorite day of the week?
back and biceps.
That's mine too. I like back. I do back alone. I do back alone. I like back.
a lot, biceps, but I really like back.
Mine's different. I do such a different routine. I do
the Arnold split. You
I do
chest
not.
And back?
I do chest. No, I do chest tries one day. I do arms another day.
Okay.
So that's like, and then I do back, and then I do legs.
Okay.
I love that. My back days, bro.
See?
I turn into a monster.
Everybody has a different
Turn into
way
a
of
literal
doing it.
monster
And I
on back
do
days.
Pilates.
And Pilates, you know, I started in corporate. I always
Natalia,
thought.
stretch. Okay.
I tell him I started doing Pilates, like, oh, so you get stretched out. I'm like, damn, like, well, yeah, wow. Yeah, I get stretched out. No,
And she likes it too. What you know about it?
Y'all don't want to know what I just whispered to the camera.
what'd you whisper to the
Mike.
camera?
No, but I whispered. I said,
Did you say back shots?
Yeah, we're editing that out, so...
I don't even know that stuff. No, but I also feel like workout classes. Like when I first started going to the gym, I was like, I don't like workout
LA
classes.
Fitness.
I hated workout
LA
classes.
Fitness is a jungle.
I love
don't know
the
how-
jungle. I
LA
love
Fitness
the
is
jungle.
there's one right here now. It's a whole jungle.
If you use the gym that you go to, how shitty it is, as any sort of excuse, that's you just giving yourself excuses in your head. Because
I go
went to
downstairs
LA
in my
Fitness
gym. I love it.
the whole time, and when I couldn't go to the gym or when I was on vacation, I would pick up bottles of water, okay, and start working out with those.
No excuse,
So
fellas.
it's no excuses. It's not about, you know, what you have to work with. It's all about if you know how to work it. It's not about the size of the boat. It's about the motion of the ocean.
Damn.
Guys,
Whoa.
we're also
And I feel
doing
like
That's good. That was such a
mentorship
good
for
transition. I
intimacy.
love that.
So.
I love that.
No, and don't
Wow.
take that in a sexual way. It could make sense in so many situations.
She's so right,
It's
though.
not about the size of the boat. It's about the motion of the ocean. Do you know how to work it? Do you know what to do with it? You know? And that's what it is.
Yuli, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for being with us today. You have such incredible insights, and I'm sure that there's so many people that are watching this that are going to take everything you said and really take it with them for a long time. And is there anything else that you want to add? Anything you want to tell the viewers? Something that's just like on your mind before we finish today?
I just really want to stress on the fact that no one has the same exact journey as the next. So as much as this video can give you the confidence or the push to do everything that you want to do in life, doing it exactly how I did it may not work for you, and that's okay. It's a learning process. It's also learning who you are as a person. And I can say that it taught me a lot about who I was regardless of the weight loss. So how willing I was to push myself, how far I was willing to go, you know, how hard I was working at it. It's a lot of things that it's like, you may not think that those things are in you, but the second that you start doing it, it's kind of like a fake it till you make it type of situation. I didn't necessarily in the beginning think that I was some gym rat.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Even now, I don't think I can consider myself some sort of gym rat, because I can go to the gym with someone else that really knows their shit, and I'm like, okay, well, I clearly don't know my shit, but it's working for me. So,
But you're still learning. You're still
Exactly.
open to the lesson. So that's where
Exactly.
that's how you get there. The how doesn't matter. The how, like, literally never ever matters. Because there are people out there. You have your Jeff Bezoses. You have your Elon Musks. You have people like us, even who aren't them, who aren't at that multi-billion-dollar mark. We have goals, right? We have goals. We know that we're going to get there, but there's no how. Like, bro, when me and you started this podcast, we didn't even have a name. The name we came up with the name today.
On the 6th episode.
Today we came up with the
yeah.
name, and we started this podcast on July 22nd, and that's literally a month and a half ago, almost 2.
Yeah.
Bro, just keep on.
Don't think, just do.
Just keep swimming, bro.
Exactly.
Just keep swimming.
Yeah.
Just
The
keep
less
swimming.
you think about it and the less you are in your head about it, the more you'll just realize that you're just doing it, and then you'll realize, okay, this is actually who I am. I'm actually.
You'll
just
attract
doing
the
it.
how over time.
Exactly.
You just gotta do it. You'll attract the how over time.
You'll figure it out.
And always be confident in yourself. Always be true to yourself. Always never forget who you are, even if you lose weight. Never, use that and become a mean person because of it, just because you can.
Yeah, don't forget your roots.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't forget where you came from.
Your values, yeah.
And the people that helped you get there, and the people that motivated you, and the people that, told you that you're worth it and told you that you can do it. Never forget those people, because as much as you're a support system for yourself, the people around you are also a big support system for you. And it does help a lot when you have people around you that are positive and are, telling you, great job. As much as you don't need those affirmations and you don't need that, it's nice to hear. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's powerful. Wow. Natalia, anything you want to
add? No. I really admire everything you said.
I've taken in a lot today, personally.
And I learned from her.
This was a great podcast. This was a great episode. I can't even lie.
She's taught me so much over time, ever since she moved here, about myself and my own journey with my weight loss fluctuations. And it's really incredible just to see.
I would have never known this side of you if it weren't for this episode.
Yeah.
I would have just known you. I would have just known you as the space girl.
I knew that we. Oh my gosh! I have to show you something. I'll show you after the video. Okay. Okay, guys.
The space girl. What a label you put on me.
The space cadet. No, stop. Okay.
All right, everyone.
Guys,
thank you guys so much.
I also want to say thank you guys so much for having me. I'm actually so honored that I was your first guest ever on the podcast.
Absolutely. And you'll be back, okay?
Yeah, I'll definitely be back.
Wait, should we finish? I have an idea. With every guest, you're the first one, we should ask them at the very last section.
You're cutting this out, right?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to ask you a question.
We're improvising. The how just came to us.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? And then in 5 years, whether we have this podcast still running or not, we're going to have an episode that we're just going to post to see an update video.
Oh.
So, I want to know, where do you see yourself in
5 years or a year? Because I feel like 5 years.
Do you want to do a year? A year we could do.
Let's do a year.
Okay, let's do a year.
That's a really, really great question.
Where does
graduating
Yuli Mor
college
see herself in 1 year?
I will have graduated college. I hope I'm working towards starting my business, which I want to be in the music industry. So I'm hoping that I'm, working towards that, which I feel like already since I moved to Miami, it's opened up so many opportunities and so many doors in that world. So I'm excited to see what happens with that and where my life, I'm actually excited to see where my life is in a year, because I have hopes and dreams of what it will be like in a year. But
let's go.
You want a boyfriend?
Yes, I do want a boyfriend. It's definitely something that I want.
Natalia, the way she looked at you just now, oh my goodness.
I enjoy being single.
Okay.
But I would love to have someone to spend my time with and share, memories and someone that's worth my time though. Because, I definitely have options, but I haven't found anyone that's really worth 100% of my time. So when I find that one, then Bezrat Hashem, all will be good.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Thank you so much. We love you.
I love you guys.
And guys,
that's all.
Leave comments below if you have any other questions you want to ask Yuli. We're gonna tag her Instagram. You can feel free to DM her, and maybe she'll have time to answer.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I'm the worst at
She's
DMs,
the
but I
worst
will
messenger ever.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Do.